Today's TV soap news and spoilers will recap for you the highlights of the past week before entering the news story this week, July 10th to July 13th. This video is for those who missed out on the fascinating stories that happened in Salem this past week for July 3rd to July 6th. Hope you continue to support and accompany us in the next videos. The story begins about Megan being mistakenly shot by Harris and Stefan at Gabby's engagement party. Megan is then admitted to the hospital while Harris and Li Shin are both arrested. Because Harris said that he was following Li Shin's orders, we all know that it was all created by Megan's plan. Then when Megan woke up in the hospital and she had goosebumps, Dimitri told her that she was arrested for kidnapping EJ and Kristen. She denies any involvement and tries her best to convince Dimitri that she is innocent. Megan tells him that everything she does is just to protect him. She kept her unwanted honest progress with Gwen, and she was pleased to hear that Gwen was there to support him. Megan is happy that her son not only has an inheritance, but also a wife who loves him. Gwen walks in and Megan is happy to see her. They chat for a few minutes, and then she tells them she needs a break and will talk to them more later. We then see Gwen and Dimitri kiss, and she agrees to marry him despite Leo's previous attempts to convince her that Dimitri has something to do with his mother and that she doesn't. Couldn't trust him, but Gwen doesn't believe it and dismisses his concerns. Leo tells her that he will return to the DeMera mansion to try to find evidence and asks her not to accept Dimitri's marriage proposal until he's finished. And as Leo continues to search for evidence to prove to Gwen that what he says is true, Leo continued to sneak into the DeMera mansion to find evidence. Here, Kristen caught him. Leo admits that he's trying to figure out the real reason why Dimitri wants to marry Gwen, and Kristen agrees not to call the police if he leaves. However, he did not leave, but continued to sneak into Dimitri's room. Leo searches Dimitri's room and eventually finds papers detailing Dimitri's inheritance and the conditions he must meet to obtain it. Dimitri comes and asks to know what he is doing. Leo tells him what he found and tells him that he will tell Gwen. Dimitri tells him he's not going anywhere and hugs Leo and kisses him. Will Leo be manipulated by Dimitri? And will he keep his secret from Gwen? Talking about the story involving Megan after Kristen and EJ contact Marlena to find out if Megan is the one who kidnapped them and wants to kill Stefan or not. The truth is finally clear. They want Megan to pay the price. When EJ and Kate burst into Megan's room to confront her, they find Megan gone and Gabby handcuffed to the bed in her place. She explains that she came to confront Megan, but Rolf grabs her from behind and takes Megan to safety. The two left together on the submarine. With Megan leaving like that, it's definitely an open ending to a return story. Going back to the story regarding Abe, we see Lonnie return, and she has an emotional reunion with Paulina, after which Lonnie tells Eli that she has to see for herself. The proof of what happened to Abe. Paulina tries to talk to her, but Lonnie refuses, and Eli agrees to take her to the Salem Police Department. Lonnie promised to come back to see her mother, and Chanel left with them to go to the bakery. Lonnie and Eli reflect on how they met and fell in love there before examining the evidence regarding Abe. Lonnie recalls her conversation with Abe when she first went to town to find him and then went back to work. She reviews blood evidence and then eyewitness testimony from Jerry. She's surprised when Eli tells her that Jerry is an actor. We also saw this week that Jerry felt guilty seeing Theo at the Abe memorial, and they talked about his accident. Jerry expressed his condolences and apologized for not saving Abe when he fell. He tells Theo that he can't swim, and Theo understands and tells him it's not his fault and that Abe wouldn't want him to die saving him. Jerry feels guilty about it and to make an excuse when Eli and Lonnie appear. Jerry wanted to say something to him, but he said it was just another apology for his loss and then quickly left. Eli and Lonnie looked at each other suspiciously, and what Lonnie suspected was true. That's why next week we see Lonnie cornering Jerry and asking him questions. Will Jerry finally be forced to admit the truth about Abe? Speaking of Whitley, she made the bold decision to go to Paulina to offer her condolences. Paulina asks Whitley what Abe's last words to her were, and Whitley tells her that he said Paulina's name. She was very touched and thanked her before Whitley left for work. Speaking of Abe, the story that stood out this past week was when he watched Body and Soul and was surprised to see Theo acting on the show and realized that guy wasn't his son. His name was Jerry Prentice. Before he could leave the apartment, Whitley returned home. He confronts her about the name Jerry Prentice, but it seems like Abe doesn't believe her and accuses her of lying about everything. He told her he was calling the police and taking the phone, but before they could dial the number, Whitley stabbed him in the neck with a syringe filled with sedatives. She told him he could never leave. She then sat on the couch with him, and they watched the fireworks on TV as tears rolled down Zabe's face. Will Whitley continue to cause dangerous actions for Abe this week? Speaking of Harris, it didn't take long for people to realize that he was brainwashed again and try to convince him of it, including Kate. She tries to convince him that he's a good man and that he's only under Megan's mind control. He refutes what she said and insists that he needs to complete his mission. Then Marlena walks in and Harris tells her that he needs her help. Marlena will also hypnotize Harris as she tries to get away from all the brainwashing, but Harris won't think that's enough. Harris will beg Marlena and hope she's ready for him to commit to Bayview, but she may not be ready to give him up yet. Seems like we're about to say goodbye to Harris because his request is to go to Bayview so as not to endanger others. Apparently, this is the best choice at this point. Those are the standout stories that took place in the past week. Thank you for watching our video. Hope you will have a nice weekend. Our TV channel, Soap News and Spoilers, is the place for those who want to know how the Salem story goes, as well as great days of our lives, updates, and news. So subscribe to our channel to get what you want. Bye-bye.